The day I saw my grandma cry on her own front porch was the day I decided something had to change. She wasn't crying because of pain or illness. She was crying because her flowers were too colorful. That's what the HOA told her, a violation letter, a threat of fines, all because an 82-year-old woman planted tulips to feel closer to her late husband. That's when I made a decision. I'd stop arguing with the HOA. I'd take over the HOA. My grandma has lived in the same neighborhood for 34 years. It's not a mansion-filled community, just quiet streets, small lawns, and friendly mailmen. After my grandfather passed away, her garden became her therapy. Every morning, she'd step out with a cup of tea and trim her roses, water her tulips, and talk to the wind. To her, the garden wasn't decoration, it was memory, until the HOA sent a letter. I remember the day she called me, voice trembling. They said my flowers are too bright, that they violate the neutral color aesthetic. I thought it was a joke, but there it was, a printed violation notice taped to her front door, with a threat of $50 per day in fines if she didn't remove excessive, non-compliant flora. She cried, and I got angry. I started digging. The HOA board was made up of 5 residents, mostly retirees, and one guy who thought he was a sheriff. Turns out they hadn't had a proper election in 6 years. They renewed themselves quietly and enforced whatever rule fit their mood. And the rule book, outdated, vague, and open to abuse. I knew what I had to do. First, I got a copy of the bylaws. Then I studied the election process. All I needed was enough signatures from residents to trigger a special election. 25% of the neighborhood. That meant I needed around 38 households to sign a petition. So I went door to door, explained what happened to my grandma, and told them how easily it could happen to them. To my surprise, people were fed up. One woman got a citation for hanging wind chimes. A single dad was fined for letting his kid's bike sit on the lawn. A veteran was told to repaint his mailbox twice. In less than 2 weeks, I had the signatures. The board fought it, of course, tried to say the petition was invalid, but legally they had to hold a vote. On election night, I stood in front of 73 residents and told them the story of my grandma, the tulips, the tears, the intimidation, and I promised, if elected, I'd rewrite the rules with the people, not against them. I won, by a landslide. First thing I did, remove the color restrictions on flowers. Then I created a community grace clause, giving all residents a voice before any fine could be issued. I brought in actual landscapers to update the outdated design policies. And I opened every future HOA meeting to video attendance, so no one would feel unheard. I walked up to my grandma's house with a single piece of paper in hand, a printed page with bold letters that read, "You are now free to plant anything you want, anywhere you want, anytime you want." She read it, smiled, and didn't cry this time. She laughed, then handed me a trowel. "Let's plant some daisies," she said. The truth is, power in a community should come from compassion, not control. The HOA forgot that. But now things are different, because one woman cried and one neighborhood woke up. If your HOA is broken, don't wait for change. Become the change. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share this if you've ever dealt with a power-hungry HOA. And remember, tulips are never the problem. Bullies are.